Hello and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week, our 14th episode, and we are talking about video games.
We certainly are. 14th episode. Luckily, we got through last week's.
Luckily we did. Anyway, stick around if you want to hear more. Right, before we get right into things, you had a couple of things you wanted to mention, didn't you?
There is a couple of things I wanted to mention. As you know, I go back and listen to these. And
You're most of our listeners, aren't you?
I probably am most of our listeners, yeah. And more, week on week, I realise that I say the wrong word, in a sentence. I also give misinformation.
What? Misinformation? We never give you misinformation.
Now, I know, but there's certain things that bug me. But for instance, I think when we talked about Bigfoot, and then I said, there was prints at Animal Kingdom in the Everest ride, by the Everest ride. Well, obviously that's the Yeti prints, not the Bigfoot prints. I know that's a different, but it's little things like that I think is unprofessional, and how I seek to be very professional in everything I do.
Bigfoot was very much in the early days. We are on episode 14 now.
So you think we've improved?
We're all grown up now.
I don't think we've improved in that.
We've been doing this a couple of months now.
Oh, we have indeed.
Free.
Also, 3 months. Blimey.
Yeah. Also,
I've noticed you insult me quite a lot throughout the...
That's not just in the podcast, though.
No, but, you'd think you'd give me sort of an hour off every Saturday, but you seem to be... You're quite harsh on me sometimes. And
you insult me quite a lot.
Oh, I don't.
Do you remember the superheroes episode?
Oh, well, yeah, but I think you started that argument anyway, so... Anyway, let's try and bring a sort of, I don't know, warmth, a bit more of a warmth between the two of us.
It's quite warm in here, isn't it? The windows are shut.
Absolutely baking in here. And the third thing is, I want a catchphrase. You've got a catchphrase.
Cat. You want a cat? We got one.
No, I want a catchphrase. So I'm going to be working on a few things. Maybe something will pop up that I like in this episode.
All right, are you going to try some things in this episode?
Maybe. I haven't thought of anything yet.
I'm excited.
Just see if something... I want it to evolve sort of... organically. I want something to just come out and I think, no, that's the one, because you've got stick around
if you want to hear more, and I say at the end of the podcast, I go, bye.
Crazy. You say crazy a lot, right? I haven't got anything like that. I say absolutely. I do say the same things over and over again, but there's nothing I'd really be able to use in the future for other sort of
like stick on a t-shirt, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah,
because everyone would buy our t-shirts.
Well, no. Well, maybe someone will one day. We'll see. But that's it for me.
The t-shirt I'm wearing, I'll take it off.
A few things off my chest, really. And that's not a catchphrase. I don't want that one. Okay, so whenever you're ready, Connor, let's kick on.
I'm not sure. Am I ready now?
No?
No, I am now. Right. So, firstly, to kick off, video games. Now, this is a big topic for me because there's a lot of things I love about video games, a lot of things I want to discuss about video games. But firstly, Dad, I want to ask you, what is a video game?
Oh no, you did this with books. A video game. It's a game that you play on a console or a PC or some sort of technical apparatus that you can. It could be very different sort of scenarios. It can be a platform game. It can be a shoot 'em up game. It can be a problem-solving game. It can be anything, but you get it on multiple sort of different...
Basically, a computer. It's a computer game is running a game on some kind of computer. So that could be your mobile phone, your PC,
anything from a mobile phone to... So
we're talking... I'm going to use a term here. All right, AAA games, which are meant to be these big... You said this was going to happen in this podcast, but I'm explaining it. AAA games are essentially these big... games. You use the same phrase for AAA films.
Right, can I just say...
big blockbuster type game.
When you use terminology like this, you're going to hear this sound.
You didn't make a sound.
No, there's a sound there. And when you hear that sound, you realise...
So you're going to make me put in that in the edit?
Yes, just so you learn, right?
Oh, right? This is not good.
Yeah, so
I'm just not going to do it.
When you use any sort of stuff that's I deem to be... Well, I don't know what that means. which could be quite a lot, then we're going to track back and you're just going to explain. So AAA,
Right.
did you say?
So-
I thought they were batteries.
Right, if we're doing this, if we're doing this and I'm putting in the sound effects, you are going through it and picking up where the sound effects need to go in.
Okay, I'll write it down as I go along. Right, AAA.
AAA, yeah. So as I was explaining,
Yeah.
they're like big blockbuster-like games. So, for example, you've got things like you might have a blockbuster film, like your Marvel films and stuff like that. Your AAA games would be something like a more recent one to come out was Cyberpunk 2077, which is a big, highly anticipated game. Normally the ones that a lot of money go into.
Okay.
Now, because you interrupted me at an earlier point, I now can't remember what my point was.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that, but I think I now know what AAA is, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have
Now-
you completely gone blank then?
Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about.
Well, look, shall I say something about that
If you want.
while you try and remember that?
I'm not going to bother trying to remember.
No? Okay. So you're saying about these are the highly anticipated ones, the
Yeah.
ones that are going to be in the top 10 of like Game and places like that for their particular for sales. Like, so they are going to, they'll either be popular because they're a franchise that people are very aware of, or it could be that it's on the back of a film or something like that.
Not necessarily. Oh, see, the thing is, what you're saying is absolutely right, but a lot of you don't necessarily. I would say within games, there might be games based off of a successful franchise like film or something like that, but quite a lot of the AAA games are based on the publisher. Now, within the games universe, a publisher is more of a big thing than necessarily just the name of the film, which I guess is the same when you go, oh, Steven Spielberg's directing this film, so it's probably going to be good.
Unless it's AI.
Unless it's AI.
Yep.
So, for example, if someone said Rockstar, which is the people who make the GTA games and the Red Dead Redemption games and stuff
Yep.
like that, Bully, LA Noire, stuff like that.
Are they just the name? The last two were the names of particular ones, yeah?
Names of games, yeah.
Yeah.
All four of those were names of games.
Yeah, no, I recognise the first two,
Oh, right, okay.
Grand Theft Auto, so I haven't had to make that noise again. But it was the last two that I wasn't aware of. Gone.
So, if they're to make a game, normally it's known about. It's quite a big thing. Now, you also get a lot of indie developers, which you get a lot of smaller games being made. And obviously, I don't feel like I need to explain indie.
No, independent. Yeah, I get that.
That
yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah, so you get a lot of those, which often are really quite good games. And you get a lot more of that nowadays since PCs have really developed. That's personal computer.
Look, you don't have to do it every time. I'm just saying we need to keep the jargon down. Now, I get that because obviously it's like anything. It's like music. Anybody now, if they've got a bit of cash and they buy the equipment, can do anything from home.
I mean, look at that. We've got a pretty good piece of equipment over there to record the podcast.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's fairly simple. And it wasn't that expensive, and yet you can do those sort of things. So I get that independent game creators.
It's becoming a lot easier for them nowadays because there's more platforms to release it on. It used to be that the only place you could release a game on would either be web-based games, you know, like those weird little games and stuff like that you get on the internet, or you'd have to release it on like a console, like a PlayStation or something like that.
Yeah, see,
and
that's
now,
usually out, yeah.
because of things like there's a software called Steam on PC where you can buy games. Because of things like that, it means that most people can publish a game on there. So it will
get some sort of take up.
Yeah, and it's opened the world up a lot more to different people, different things. And this is how a lot of the publishers come about. They release one kind of smaller game, or they might work with someone on a smaller game, and they just gradually build up. There's a lot more publishers than there used to be.
Well, it's very evident to me that when I was growing up, there were games, computer games, video games. However, as far as I know, there wasn't enough of it to warrant a chart. I mean, now, and the big thing was music. So nowadays, if you go into an HMV, or if you go into games different. But if you go into somewhere that sells sort of different products, there's a huge section. There's as many video games in chart stuff than there is. In fact, if you go in somewhere like some of the big supermarkets that do all this sort of thing, then you're more likely to be able to get the video game that you want in the chart than you are a CD or a DVD.
As long as you're trying not to get a PlayStation 5, you can probably get it.
That is unreal.
That's ridiculous. That's unbelievable how difficult it is
I'm
to get
having
a
to have
PlayStation.
physiotherapy on my fingers from the swiping trying to get you one.
Fair enough, with making it pretty topical with like the Evergreen, the Canal kind of thing, that slowed things up. There's also a shortages of computer chips globally at the moment, which means that they've had trouble making them. But
you're talking about...
Other than just that, it's really difficult to get hold of PlayStation. But I think what you're just going off of kind of takes me into... I know probably it's stuff you want to mention as well, but it kind of takes me a little bit into something I briefly wanted to mention, is how, with technology-wise, how much has developed based on video games. So if you take yourself back to one of the first video game, Pong.
Yeah.
Take yourself back to that.
Yeah, we were quite poor as a family. We didn't have things like that. We had to make the noise, and my dad got some black tape, and he just stuck it on the television, and we had to make out that we were playing it.
You had a pool table at your house?
A snooker table, 6x3.
Yeah, snooker table. Yeah.
Far too big for the front room. Yeah. Used to stick the cue up people's noses, and worse when you were trying to play. Anyway, no, back to that. We're not talking about my early snooker career.
Yeah. But when you look at that and you compare it to something, I'm trying to think of a game now, but that used to be like single pixels kind of on the screen. And you compare
so basic, yeah.
You compare it to what, quite literally, I've got sitting in my bedroom right now, just at arm's reach, only at arm's reach away from me, is my virtual reality, I didn't use the word VR, headset, where I can put it on, and rather than just look at a screen, and because graphics is a huge thing nowadays, being able to see things in high definition like you're actually there on a screen, but then being able to put that directly in front of your eyes and completely immerse yourself in it, it's just phenomenal the way things have gone. And it can be used for a lot of other stuff, like designing and stuff such as well. But the amount of immersion you can get from a game, and that's another big reason why I like playing games, is the immersion aspect. So when it comes to things like, I'm going to mention a game now, Skyrim.
Yeah.
You vaguely aware of that?
I'm vaguely aware of that.
Essentially, it's like a fantasy-based, similar to Lord of the Rings and such like that, fantasy-based world, medieval kind of thing. Incredible scenery. It's quite an old game now, actually, to be fair as well. But incredible scenery and stuff like that. And yeah, I like the way they can take you into another place. So when I got my VR headset, which was a couple months ago now, but being able to take yourself somewhere else completely and just kind of experience, it's just incredible. That's what I like about games. Being able to remove yourself from the world every now and then. Yeah,
no, I get that, and I get that it's like anything. If you can separate yourself from, perhaps even for an hour from reality, it's a good thing. The only issue I have, well, not the only issue, let's face it, I've got loads of issues with it, but it's never an hour, is it?
They quickly take over your time.
I've lost days playing games. Nothing, and I'm talking things like...
This, not just Risk. You've lost days playing Risk.
It's things like Sonic. I can remember getting up on a Saturday morning quite early and switching on my Mega Drive with Sonic on it. Excellent. And playing it and playing it and playing it until I finished it, right? And it was, most of my day had gone. And when I first sat down there, I thought, look, it's a Saturday, I've got a day off, great, I'm going to play this. That was fine. And then as the day went on, I felt sadder and sadder about the whole situation. And like, you know, and you get to the end of it and you finish it and you go, yeah, and then you look and you think, oh, it ain't long and I've got to go to bed now. And I do find that really difficult. I love it all. I mean, you can get you know, start getting phone calls from your work saying, why haven't you turned up, and things like that, and you have to go out shopping because you've got nothing left in your house or anything. Your pets have passed out. The thing is, it's great, and I always go through the same sort of sequence, which is like say for instance, I love playing FIFA, right? But I start off and I think, right, I ain't got anything to do. No, I'm not going to bother anybody. I'm going to play FIFA. And I start, and I'm excited. I think, yeah, come on, we're going to do it. And then it goes, yeah, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm into it. And then I start thinking, oh, how long have I been playing this? It's not because I'm not enjoying it. It's just I'm starting to feel guilty then.
Yeah,
I'm feeling guilty for sitting there and doing things. I haven't got anything else to do, you know. But, you know, and it goes on. And in the end, I finish, and I have to walk away from it because I think, and that's what I find difficult. I feel like I've wasted that time, but I haven't, because I've enjoyed kind of enjoyed what I'm doing, but there's always that for me, that it kind of, surely I could be doing something else. And because you're inside as well doing it, it's a very insular thing. He looks up insular to make sure that's the right thing, but that's all I'm saying about it anyway.
Just going off what you just said there, though, when it comes to FIFA, we've spent weeks redoing the Euros once, didn't we?
Yeah, and then when England looked like they were going to lose, we had to put the level down. So
yeah, we realised we accidentally put it on professional or something like that. No, but going off of what the other things you said, and I do apologise, because I've been getting really overexcited and been speaking really fast. I'm going to try and slow it down.
Don't worry about that. I hadn't realised you'd started recording again.
Oh, had you not?
No.
Is that why you just took a drink?
That's what I was drinking.
Oh, fair enough. No, when it comes to you were saying about we've spent the whole weekend playing Sonic. That's one of the beauties of modern games, is the ability to save.
Yes, modern games. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, because obviously it was tricky. You could do to a certain extent, but there was only certain points.
Yeah. Yeah, and being able to pick up where you left off, kind of thing. Like, I haven't played going back to Skyrim. I haven't played that in years, but I know I've got a save that I could go back to at some point.
Yeah,
which is really quite good.
It's a tricky one with them as well, though, because I think, and I've said this to you before, when you've been even when you were younger, but all the way through, sort of thing. You've got a game, you know, and it's a bit difficult. You're going, oh, I'm stuck on this. I said, well, that's the whole point, because if you could breeze through it all, then what's the point? You're going to be finished, and that's there. But on the same token, I've tried certain things, certain games of yours I've had a go at, and it's got to the point where I thought, oh, for God's sake, I can't do this. I can't keep doing this over and over again. And even games of mine, I had like the Tomb Raider ones, and I loved them, right? Brilliant. And I get to, I can actually picture the bit where I've got to on one of the particular ones, where she has to do this quite difficult twist and jump and everything else to it, and there's only so many times you can fall off something and then have to go through the rigmarole of going up the stairs and doing the same, getting round to that platform to get up there, to get to the edge, to do exactly the same thing again before you put your foot through the screen. Yeah, no, I've been in that position, and many times. Maybe I can walk you through it. I mean, that's something you used to do when I was a kid. When I used to get really stuck on something, I used to ask your mum to help me. I remember with a Scooby-Doo game once, I asked mum to help me get past the level, also because it was scary. But wow. But I do have fond memories of stuff like that, though. But I find it really interesting. There's also a lot of things. There's quite a broad spectrum of games nowadays, because when you think about you play quite a lot of games. Now, you don't play the same games I play. You play video games on your phone. Yeah, I've got stuff on my phone that I'll do just to... But again, even then, I think to myself, oh, come on. Oh, it is one more game, isn't it? It's always the one more game, and then I'm going to put this down and go off and do something else. Yeah. But, you know, yeah, you're right, yeah. absolutely exactly the same sort of principle.
Yeah.
Addictive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, the mobile games are specifically really addictive.
Mm.
Yeah, you can.
Well, you can talk about things like Candy Crush and all the others that I can't think of right at this minute. But Candy Crush is a good example of people will spend, days. Oh, Ludo.
Yeah, Ludo.
Ludo.
Mum loves Ludo.
Oh, loves the Ludo.
See, that's
it infuriates her though.
That's the thing when it comes to, because on the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, got that, played Ludo like once on there, and then everyone was hooked. And it's crazy how these things, and I know Ludo is a game in itself.
Yeah.
It's not a video game based thing, but when you get some things in video games, it makes it a lot easier. For example, Monopoly was always a classic one. Well, you could sit there ages, set up the board, give out money, blah blah blah, but you can do it a lot quicker just by pressing A.
They're not too bad then.
But Ludo was one where you can quite easily just become hooked on something. Like, it was play it again. Oh, should we just play another game? But before you know it, it's 10 p.m.
Yeah,
and you got work the next day, and you're really thinking. I'm saying 10 p.m. A lot of people were thinking, but I'm thinking I need to get to bed.
And I'm a postman, so I get up early. So
no,
I
exactly.
can't afford to be messing about at that sort of time. I'll tell you what I do like though, and this is the difference between. I know you can go on to, you can play quite a number of these games. You can play with other people, like, so what would you call that? When you multiplayer, but it's so people are from all over the world can go into one game, sort of thing.
Are you talking about mass multiplayer, or?
Well, I'm just talking about the fact that you've got more people playing one particular game. Now, in my mind, them sort of other sort of games you'd play on your PC, play on your PlayStation or whatever it is, Xbox. You're on your own. You're playing a game. You're on your own. That's why I like the Nintendo Wii, because it doesn't take itself too seriously. There's really silly stuff on there, but you can have like the bowling and everything.
Yeah. Nintendo's quite, not just the Wii, but Nintendo.
Yeah.
Is quite big on being a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like the DS was a bit different. Yes, I know they made some portable ones for other ones, but
I like them because we as a family have done that before. We've all played like the dance games on there.
Just
played
Dance.
Bowling, where Annie gets really frustrated because
it keeps going off to one side.
Go off one side because we told her that the room was sloped down one side, so that's why it would happen.
Yeah, it just rolls down.
All these sort of things. So, but I enjoy those because I think when we say, "Oh, should we break out the Wii?" It's a bit. It's like playing a ball game. It's a family orientated thing.
Mario Kart, big one for that.
Oh, Mario Kart. I love Mario Kart. Apart from the fact that if I play and you're playing, because you're annoyingly good at these things, so I might be doing the perfect race, and then I'll get round there and suddenly bang, you're past me in number one. I
think this sounds really rude, and I don't want this to sound rude, but I'm not
Can I stop you? Think it through in your mind, say it in your mind, and if it does sound rude, perhaps don't let it come out your mouth.
No, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm not particularly that great at games. Yeah,
hang on, this sounds like it's going to be a terrible insult.
No, I'm not particularly that great at games, and I know this from playing with my friends, and I'm always the one to lose.
Right.
Classically, I'm just terrible at games. I enjoy them, but I'm not that great. Whenever I play games like that with them, they generally win.
Right, so, I'll read between the lines there. And
maybe
what you're
it's just
saying
a talent
is
gap.
that,
but I play with other people. I think it's a difference between I'm an average game player,
right?
Maybe slightly above average. Yeah, a lot of my friends are quite a bit above average, and they pick up games really easily. And maybe you're just on average, maybe a little bit lower.
Wow.
For certain games, FIFA, we're quite evenly matched.
Wow. I'm just going to write that in my book.
Candy Crush, you're better than me.
Oh, I haven't played Candy Crush. But the thing is, I have these things, I download them, play them for a while, and then think, I can't do that anymore.
Like a Harry Potter game?
Yeah.
How long have you been playing that?
Years I was playing that, and then it
Simpsons
sort
Tapped Out?
yeah, and that as well. And then I stopped playing it. I
To be
just take
fair,
them out.
I played Simpsons. I don't play mobile games generally because they do just become, because they're always in your pocket, they become addictive.
Yeah.
Especially the time-based ones. So like Simpsons Tapped Out, you've got a timer that you've got to set someone up for 24 hours and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I spent like a solid year, I say solid year, a couple, maybe 1 or 2 days off or whatever, but I spent a year every single day on that game. Every single day. I even went to Florida and was on it. Actually, no, I think that was one of the times where I had a couple of breaks, but I was...
But you kind of think, well, I've got it started now, so I better keep it going. I better do me sort of...
Yeah.
It's almost like housekeeping. It's like you've got to make sure you put in at least 20 minutes every day just to make sure it's ticking over.
Yeah, and when you take a couple of days away from it,
yeah,
and you don't feel bad about it, like it's like an addiction. Your first day, you're thinking, oh, I could be doing this. Day 2, you're thinking, do I really want to? And then by the third day, you're like, oh, I don't actually care anymore.
Well,
It's not quite as bad as an addiction.
I was
but
initially...
it does become a bit of an addiction, actually, games.
I was initially with the certainly Harry Potter one, gutted that I went to go onto my new phone or whatever it was. It might have been my tablet, and it just was asking me to set it all up again. But you know, I'd forgotten all about that. Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, I've got something. Okay,
going to shut the blinds. Sorry if you hear anything, listeners.
Shut the blinds. Oh dear.
Yeah. Can you turn the light on, please?
So I've got something for you then. What do you think about? Because some of the games are quite violent games, and you know, when I started, when you started looking at particular games, you know, and I didn't realise you'd got 18 games. You know, there were ones that were age restricted until I started looking at the sort of stuff. Now, some of the content of these games is quite, you know, quite near the edge, if not over the edge with it.
Yeah, now, classically, Grand Theft Auto franchise, so again Rockstar, classically that is quite controversial in the fact that not only you're stealing cars, Grand Theft Auto, that kind of thing, but you're killing people, there's
prostitution,
sexual acts, stuff like that. There's all that kind of stuff which is seen as wrong. Some of it legal in some places, depends on whatever. I'm talking about the prostitution side of things, not actually the killing people.
No, yeah,
not
I think you'll find that. Yeah, I think you'll find that through.
and stealing cars, and smoking weed and stuff like that, alcohol.
Yeah,
don't agree with any of it, and actually I wouldn't. Apart from drinking, I haven't done any of it.
Right.
And again, there's a lot of people as well my age that have done some of that kind of stuff. I'm talking more the drug side of thing as well, not the killing people and
yeah, no, you don't have to keep explaining it. I've pretty much got.
There's
that.
even in GTA 5. I'm playing GTA 4 at the moment, but GTA 5 there's a torture scene.
Yeah.
Where you have to torture someone, and there's a lot of argument about does this cause violence in young people and such like that. And I think it really does. For one, should young people be playing it? Because it is age restricted for a reason.
Yeah.
And I can tell you they definitely are. Because I was one, to be fair.
Yeah, no, we looked at it first. I must admit, I didn't realise quite the content of it. But I suppose it's this thing about desensitising people with what they're looking at, making it... There was always this thing about video nasties. So, you know, basically people would watch these films, these really graphic, horrible films, and it would desensitise them. And people would say by people watching that, then that boy would go out and he'd kill someone. Well, that boy might have gone out and killed someone anyway, because he obviously had issues that made him do that. Yeah. But they linked that to it, and I can see that happening with gaming as well. Or it has happened with gaming.
It's a similar thing. If someone's already got an underlying mental health issue,
yeah,
that game might spur on something. seeing a gun might spur on something.
Yeah,
Them
yeah,
seeing
no,
a
I get
knife,
it.
them seeing a car that's been left the window slightly ajar might spur them on. All these different things could lead into that.
No, I'm just
Video games
bringing it up.
is one of them. I know what you
Yeah.
mean. I know what you mean.
I grew up in Basildon, so nothing like that. That was just like watching you play GTA is just like growing up in Basildon.
Yeah,
And now I
exactly.
work on the East Ham estate in Brentwood. I see that every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. It's again what I said about immersion and losing yourself into another world.
Yeah.
For a little while, if I've got a little bit of psycho in me, I can let that loose in GTA.
Yeah, I guess it
And-
gets. Yeah.
But another reason why I love GTA, and I don't think I would love it if it just was for the shooting and the killing
Yeah.
and everything like that. One of the big things I like about GTA is it's the world they've created, the beautiful place. It's based on LA. I can watch something of LA now and go, I've been there in a game, but I've
Yeah.
been there. They've created a beautiful world. It's got a good storyline. It's funny. There's a lot of comedic stuff in there as well.
Yeah, it doesn't
just
take itself
quite
seriously, does
enjoyable,
it?
and yeah, exactly. And it's just, I don't know. It's just a way of living almost living another life for a little bit,
Well, it's like any sort of
doing
media.
stuff that you can't do.
Any sort of stuff that
elsewhere.
you film, music, whatever, you can lose yourself in it, and that's fine as long as you come back out of it again, I guess. And that's the case for anything. But it's like these. Is it first person shooter?
Yes.
So
Just so you're aware, that could be known as an FPS.
yeah, I nearly said it, and then I thought I'd probably get a sound.
That's
from you.
also frames per second. That could be
Oh, right.
in a gaming term as well.
All right. Well, no, I meant from the point of view of the games where you are. It's a shoot 'em up game.
I've never been
So-
very good at them.
No, but then that's loads of people are into that. Loads of people have.
There's sports nowadays based on video games, esports.
Yes, there are. So there's professional sportsmen that are through esports. I know
Yeah.
West Ham have got someone who competes for West Ham.
Fortnite's
as
a big one nowadays as well. I played Fortnite when it first I played it before it was a battle royale game. I
Yeah.
then played it when it was a battle royale game, and I actually kind of got addicted to that game.
Right, hang
Yeah.
on.
What?
Battle Royale.
Oh, battle royale. It's a game mode. It's Hunger Games like. A lot of people going in all as one,
Last Man Standing.
last man standing kind of thing. There's quite a few games like it. There's another one called Fall Guys, which is based on essentially it's
on the Lee Majors 1970s TV series.
no, it's based on it's like a game show.
Oh, right, okay, no, it's not the same then.
But yeah, there's PUBG, which is called Players Unknown Battleground, which was kind of one of the first ones to make it big in that battle royale kind of. There's loads of different things got battle royale modes nowadays. But yeah, I started playing that when it first, and it became an addiction. You can spend a lot of money inside these games as well because I was buying the cosmetic side of things. But I then eventually learned it's
Weird because it's certainly come. I mean, obviously,
that's one of those games where you feel like you've got to do it because of the daily challenges every day. You feel like you've got to play it.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen lots of changes over the years with the ones that you play. I mean, bear in mind, obviously, for a portion of my life, there was no such thing as a video game. And then, although obviously, when I've actually looked into it, they were designed a long, long while ago. It's just they didn't become sort of mass produced and accessible till a bit later on. But we had. I don't even know whether it was given to us or whether we had a ZX81.
Yeah.
Right. And a small little computer, and you used to get cassettes that you had to put into it with certain games. And I can remember having one that was Hobbit like. I can't remember what it was called, but it was Hobbit like, so it had a wizard in it and all the rest of it. And you had to set that wizard would say to you, I've got this, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go left, go right? Do I take the potion? Do I do this or that? I was saying that, and I only know that because I've read about it, because I don't think it ever loaded up properly.
Is that text-based games?
What does that mean?
text-based? Just
text-based. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. Text, I thought you said. Yeah, text-based games. So it's really, really basic graphics, but it would just have... It would come up with the... we are in a cave. What do you want? You can do one of these two things. What do you want to do? And it led you down a path.
It's basically like the creating storybooks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, but a
the
little
problem
bit less.
with something like the ZX81 was it was so temperamental. You could... it would take half an hour, 40 minutes, say, even to load something up. And 9 times out of 10, it wouldn't even load up. And then you eventually got it loaded, and then your mum's calling you because it's tea time, and you got to switch it off anyway. But it was excruciating. Now you get the ump when an hourglass comes up on the screen, and you have to wait more than 30 seconds for something. It's like everything in life. Everybody wants everything immediately. But now with games, you've pretty much got that.
Yeah, that's why Amazon Prime does so well as well. I think we've spoken for quite a long time. Have you got anything else you want to add?
No.
No,
I'm feeling quite sad. I've got to the sad point of talking about it. I was excited at the beginning, then as I said, and I'm starting to feel a little bit depressed.
Oh, right. Well, that's a shame. Well, because we've been speaking about this as long as some of our podcasts, near enough.
Have we?
Well,
oh, blimey.
Almost about 35 minutes we've been speaking.
Well, perhaps we need something lighter, something to cheer us up.
You know what I think will much you up? I think... Haven't you been on the roads again trying to find some new talent?
Have I got some new talent for you? Yes, as you know, this is another role that I've taken on as looking for new talent around the world, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I've come up with something a little bit special here. We'll have a little talk about it afterwards.
You found something special, yeah?
I found something special.
See, I haven't actually listened to this yet, so this should be exciting. Right.
Okay.
Should we play it?
Play it now.
Starfish. Fish head.
Wow is the only thing I can say for that. That was an interesting one. Starfish.
Fish heads. I see, it's catchy.
It is catchy.
Yeah, I mean,
where did you find them?
Well,
were they just underneath the pier?
No. See, he was a big wig. It's really bizarre. Look, we're talking about gaming today, like video games. He was a really big sort of mogul in the video game industry, but he got really disillusioned with it all, and decided to sail the seas. And now, I mean, I was just lucky to bump into him, because he only comes ashore 2 or 3 times a year to distribute his music. The rest of the time he's out on the waves, and I just find his music thought-provoking and haunting, and I think it says a lot about, you know, the gaming industry and and technology as a whole.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree. That was
So no,
I was almost brought to tears.
No, he has that effect on people.
Yeah,
he does. I don't know if we've mentioned who the artist is yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
Have we not? I mean, it's Barnacle Barry. He was never always called Barnacle Barry, obviously, but yeah.
Why is he called Barnacle Barry?
Barnacle Barry?
Yeah, why is he called Barnacle Barry?
Because instead of eyes, he's got 2 barnacles on his face.
Barnacles?
Yeah. But, you know, that's developed in Fish Heads.
Fish Heads, yeah?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. It's called Fish Heads from a forthcoming album called The Flight of the Seagull.
Right. I look forward to hearing more from that album.
Yeah. Well, if we're lucky enough, when we're around, when he comes ashore, then great. I'll try and see if I can grab another song of his.
I'm hoping to hear more from Anushiku soon.
Oh, well, I've got some exciting news coming up about that, but that's not for this podcast.
We'll leave it for this podcast, yeah. Right. I think it's time for a game. So let's hit that sting.
Game time.
Woohoo! Right, game time, Dad. We got a fun one.
Yes, we've got. You came up with the idea that we should sort of pitch our own games to the market. A bit like Dragon's Den, but with just video games. So, with that in mind, play the sting.
Yep, another sting coming up. Oh, I feel like I recognise that music just a little bit.
Yeah,
Very
it's
dramatic.
kind of, a Dragon's Den played on a stylophone.
Stylophone?
No, not a stylophone.
Anyway, so just to start things off, so I've got 3 different games.
Wow, so have I.
You've got 3 because earlier on you didn't.
I had 2.5 earlier on, but I've fleshed out one of my ideas now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to kick things off, then, who should start?
You can go first.
I'll go first. Now, would you like what? Pick a number between 1 and 3.
2.
All right, we'll go for 2. So, number 2. This one is based on.
Because that's the only number that's between 1 and 3.
Fair enough. I should have included the 1 and 3, whatever. So, number 2. This one is called Postman Simulator 2022.
Oh, I'm liking it already.
Yeah, so we're partway through 2021, so there's no point in 2021. It's going to be so advanced, it's going to be in 2022. Even though we're only in April. Anyway, Postman Simulator 2022, there's been a lot of popularity around simulator games.
And Postman.
Farming Simulator. Actually, I really enjoy that game. It's quite a chilled out kind of game. The Sims is a simulator game. There's lots of different simulator games. Anyway, I'm going to talk you through a bit of a... Oh, I just need to sit up slightly.
Oh, dear.
That was me doing my barnacle...
Barry.
Anyway, so I'll just read you, because this is written here, because I wrote it.
Oh, my God. I'm out.
Oh. Postman Simulator is the latest sim to let you experience life of that of a postman or woman. You start your day by preparing what to wear, and with over 5 unlockable hats, shorts and walking boots, there is a lot to choose from. Make your commute to the sorting office so you can start preparing your round. Try to locate a van and take it out. Careful of Mrs. Dawson, as she is heavily pregnant and could blow at any minute. Upon finishing the day, you get enjoy a stressful commute home so you can start all again tomorrow. And that is basically what happens in not Farming Simulator, Postman Simulator 2022.
Well, see, I'm a bit torn with this one.
Yeah?
So I don't know if I'm in and out or shaking it all about. I live that every day. So do I want to come home? I think it'd only be good for people that are not postmen or women.
This is the thing. This is for other people to experience.
Yeah, everybody else but postmen and postwomen. Because what I don't want to do when I've got back from a relaxing day at work, being shouted at and all sorts of other things, is come home and do exactly the same thing online.
Fair enough. I believe Farming Simulator is actually quite popular among farmers, but I believe stuff like Train Simulator, probably not as popular
you know what
with train
farmers
drivers.
are like, though, don't they? Can't get enough of it.
Egocentric, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So are you gonna invest?
Well,
to
look,
let other people
I feel
know
like
about?
I should be in for that. I think I'm going to throw a few dollars at you here because, you know, it's something dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be a little bit more involved in some of the uniform and that to make sure authenticity. And,
Well, yeah. There's 5 whole collectible hats, boots, and shorts.
Yeah.
You can't change the top though because
No.
gotta
But
be
I mean,
uniform.
are you going to go around? Is it a game where you'll go around and then things will happen to you as you go around, and it's about your reaction to that? And
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of the time, a lot of doors you post letters through, nothing will happen. You just
you've
post,
done your
post the
research, haven't you?
letter.
Yeah.
So you just put the letter, and you have to open the letterbox and then put it through, and then close the letterbox.
Yeah.
And some of them have the things on the walls, and you have to open them.
You
up.
make it sound easy. It's,
Yeah, sorry.
oh,
And-
you have no idea.
and there's the elastic bands. You've got to take the elastic bands off.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then sometimes people try and talk to you, and you've got to try and get past those situations
Yeah. Yeah.
and help people open pickle jars.
No. I'm in.
Yeah, you're in.
I'm in.
All right.
No.
Cool.
No. Good. I like that. I will commission that.
All right. Cool. So do you want to take me through one of yours?
No, you can do the same if you like. Do you want 1, 2, or 3?
3, please. I like the way you actually gave me the options that
Oh,
time.
right.
In between.
And this was the one I'd only done half of.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even sure that I've done any more than that. So this is called Clara Loft Room Maker, right?
Right, okay.
So basically, it's about building a loft extension of your house, right? So you have many, many cousins visiting you from
Many
overseas, and you've got a 2-bedroom house.
Right.
You start with a 2-bedroom house. So what are you going to do? How are you going to house all these many cousins coming across to, or coming down, or wherever they're coming from? I haven't really fleshed that bit out. So you've got to build. That's what you got to do.
Build.
So you got to build upwards, and you got to build outwards to house all these many people. So you have to answer a series of questions about ancient artifacts to gain building materials, and every one that you
Right.
get right, Clara Loft is able to build, and every one time you get something wrong, then a curse comes upon the house, and you have to wait, and you usually have to wait for a period of about 45 minutes, and then it resets and you can go again. I'm thinking that I'm going to build some sequels on the end of this,
Like Clara Loft 2.
Clara Loft 2, Cradle of Life, and
Clara Loft
subsequent-
3.
Yeah,
Danger in the Bungalow.
yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. So, are you in?
I
I can't imagine you wouldn't be.
I like the fact that it's really playing on the fact that you get stuck in these games for hours, but the fact that you've got to wait 45 minutes to then do the next thing. And I think I think a lot of gamers like that. They like being forced to stay in a game for almost an hour. So I think I'm in. I don't
Wow.
think there's much convincing you need to do there. I really like the aspect of you have to answer really horrible questions to be able to play the game.
Yeah. No. I think it's important.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm astounded. Thank you very much. Where you
That's
going?
2 for 2 so far. Now, I'm actually not going to give you a choice this time.
Good.
I'm going to go for number
Wasn't
3.
really a choice last time, was it?
Really. I'm going to go for number 3 because number 1 is the one I probably put the most thought into.
Oh,
Anyway,
blimey.
so this one is actually a VR game,
Oh.
virtual reality.
Yep,
Yeah.
go on then.
So this one's called Sleep VR 2.
Right.
So insomnia playing up, the kids won't stop driving you crazy, or have we got the solution for you? Sleep VR is an accurate simulation of being asleep, which you can now experience in virtual reality.
What?
Just put the headset on and be transported to Snooze Town. Since the first game, because this is the sequel, we have greatly improved our graphics. We've informed of black, so black you'll think the headset has turned off. Also, make sure you press the power button on the headset when you want to leave the app. In-app purchases.
Right.
I've just added that on the end because there will be in-app purchases.
So it's
You can
a
purchase
VR
dreams.
headset that
I think I've got
basically.
I've got a headset here. Do you want to try it on? Try it out.
All right, you could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Where do
it on.
I put it? Is it round the right way?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say I can't see anything. I still can't see anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good,
so
isn't it?
what am I looking at?
That's it. You're asleep.
Right.
It's like you're asleep, isn't it?
Well, it's more like I'm in a sort of warehouse, where all the windows have been boarded up and there's no natural light.
And I find that the most relaxing place to be.
Do you?
Honestly,
Do you?
yeah.
I find that I'm a little bit agitated
Concrete
already.
floor.
Yeah, it's. I'm actually getting a little bit claustrophobic now. I don't know if this is part of the. See, all my I'm having a nightmare now. This is a nightmare, isn't it? I'm not dreaming nice dreams. I'm dreaming nightmare dreams.
Yeah. Well, that's what comes with the in-app purchase. If you don't pay for the in-app purchase, you just get terrible dreams.
I'm not happy with this. I'm feeling a bit seasick and I can't even see anything.
Wow, you're getting really good at acting, Dad. You haven't even put a headset on.
Right, okay.
Sorry to spoil the illusion.
I'm sorry. You know,
You're out.
I'm out. I can't be dealing with this
what will
nonsense.
tell the investors?
And there's my first catchphrase. I can't be dealing with this nonsense. Dude.
Oh, did you forget about the catchphrases all the way
No,
through?
I just hadn't come up with anything.
Oh, fair enough. It's a bit like the klaxon thing you told me to do, and I only got one.
2 you got.
No, yeah, but one since you said it.
No, 2. I'll tell you when we go and do it. Anyway,
God.
don't start talking about. Go on.
It's giving me more editing to do. It's like when we discussed to put background music. I spent ages doing it for the
Right.
last episode.
Right. Okay then. So, what do you want? Do you want 1 or 2?
Can I have a number 1, please?
Number 1, right. You've chosen Isolation Nation.
Ooh.
Right. It's a platform game where you can explore a house and do tasks to earn coins, right? So you can do anything. You can clear out the loft, you can sort out the cutlery drawer, empty a wardrobe or a cupboard, and then put it all back again, right? Because you can't really, because none of the charity shops are open. So you can bag it up, the charity stuff, because you will have piles that you do. You do stuff that you're going to take down the tip that you can't do at the moment, and stuff that you're going to take to the charity shops are all closed, and then stuff you're going to put back in the cupboard. And you get extra money if you manage to get rid of anything, but you get deducted coins if you have to put things back in the cupboard where they came from. You also got the opportunity to gain credit by retraining as a hairdresser, a beauty therapist, a baker, a teacher, or a gardener, right? And if you do that and you go through the course of doing that, you'll earn money. And eventually, the whole point of this game is you win steps towards your freedom. And you can play either as one of 2 characters. You can either play as Conspiracy, right, or Pandemic. Right? So that's it. It's the game that people have been playing for the last year anyway, so why not make some money out of it?
Now this is I'll be honest, there's a lot of information there to take in.
What do you need to...
No, it's fine. I don't think I need anything repeated again. With this game, it sounds like there's a theme with your 2 games you spoke about too far, and they seem to be home improvements as well, and how to organise your life better and stuff
Who doesn't like home improvements?
There's a game that already exists called
If you don't like them, you're not going to like my third one.
I've got a game on my VR headset called House Flipper, and what you do is you tidy up houses and you redecorate them, and then you sell them. You flip houses.
So you bought a headset so you can do things that you don't do already. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which is basically what your game is.
Well, no.
But a lot of people are already doing it.
But there's
So
there's
are
freedom
people
at the
gonna
end of
buy
it.
it?
There's a goal at the end of it.
I don't know how much profits to be made in this one.
I think you'll find quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do then is I'll give you half the money for 80%.
You can get on your bike, which is the next one of my catchphrases. No, I'm not interested. If you're not interested, I'm not interested. Right, forget it. I'll go it alone. What's your
Indie
next
developer.
one? Then?
Well, this one is the one that really sparked it off for me, and I put the most thought into. Now,
Set yourself up for a fall now, aren't you?
this one is called. It's by Nontendi.
Oh,
Yeah, do you like it?
no problems with that then, no?
No. Well, it's because it's not Nontendi.
Okay.
Anyway, and this one's called The Real Plumber of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Wow. I can see all sorts of problems already.
Nope. It said, Whilst his employer never turns up to work and keeps trying to win over Paul the plumber's sister, Paul is left to do all the hard work in the kingdom. Jobs are booked thinking there are two of them. When his boss doesn't turn up to work because he is fighting tiny brown mushrooms, he is left to hold up the company. Yet he is still on minimum wage. Paul has had enough and has decided to perform a coup. But it doesn't go so simply. Now, take control of Paul and explore the dark alleys of the Mushroom Kingdom that nobody ever talks about. Follow the story to try and win over the plumbing business. When you are done, there's a big world to explore with endless possibilities. So it's an open world game. Yeah, and it's set in the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's basically the dark aspect of it. So it's a bit like some kind of, I don't know, is it
Pixie.
Mario type of game, but also mixed with Grand Theft Auto.
Right. Okay.
Thoughts? Questions?
Thoughts. I
actually
think
would love to
the
play this
mushroom
game.
lad. Have you been smoking any of those mushrooms that you're talking about? Well, look.
Do you smoke mushrooms? I think you eat them.
Yeah, you eat mushrooms. Yeah. You can steam them and put a cloth over your head and inhale it like that.
How would you know?
I don't know. Look, I found that a little bit disturbing. It's very much like a certain Mario, who's a plumber.
Well, I actually just said Mario, but yeah. Carry on.
Okay, and he's in a mushroom land. There's lots of.
Right, I'm gonna let you in on the secret here.
Yeah.
The Paul the plumber's boss is Mario.
Oh, so it's son of Mario.
No. And
Employee of Mario.
yeah, but Paul, his sister is Peach. It's a spin-off.
Man alive. Another one of my catchphrases. Look, I'll give you 50, but I'm not going to go any higher than that.
What, 50p?
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it would be quite a good game.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, because Mario's
I think you should try and develop it. I think you should go for it.
Mario's a bit of a twonk anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, the problem you've got with it is we talked about the charts and games, but you're not going to get anywhere near the top when I bring out Lady Gardener, right?
Right.
You can choose between a Brazilian socialite, a Hollywood star, or a French model, right? And the game is, and I said you've got to design and build a garden at your chosen mistress's home, right? Every time you complete a task to her satisfaction, you receive money towards a ransom to be paid for the release of your family. If you fail, bits of your family get found in the garden. So as you're digging up, you might find an ear of a
Aunt,
or a
tell your family
a
member then.
kneecap of a grandfather or something like that. So obviously you really want to make this work. So I'm talking sort of 75% platform. I did look at a VR element to it as well.
Wow, a platformer and a VR. This
Yeah.
will make you sick.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that's what the young people say these days. It's going to be sick. But
when
yeah,
they're
I
quite
think
literally being
it's
sick.
a part of the market that hasn't been exploited. I think it's got an element of danger in it. It's got an element of fun in it. I think it's got everything that you might want. So, Lady Gardener, you in or out?
Now, if it wasn't for all the, if it wasn't actually to do with gardening, then maybe consider it.
Yeah?
No, I think I'm not sure with this one. I think there's a lot of games like this, like games like This Is Genuine Game, Shower with Your Dad. I know it's an actual
What?
game. Cat dating. There's a cat dating game.
Yeah, but what's that got to do
I
with...
don't know. I'm just naming weird games. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about finding bits of my family.
Well, if you play it well, you won't ever find bits of your family in the garden.
I guess that's very true. All right, I'll give you 51p.
You're in.
All right, cool. And I think that pretty much wraps that up. I think really what we've learnt from that is we should leave things to the actual people who develop games.
Do you?
Yep.
That's not the lesson I've learned.
Oh, well.
The lesson I've learned is I should concentrate more on developing things like Isolation Nation, Lady Gardener and Clara Loft Room Maker and forget about everything else I'm doing.
All right, well, if that's what you take away from this, then go on then. Anyway, I think that's it, because this is another long episode.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're already at the hour mark, and I know people are having to put up quite a lot to be able to make it through this entire episode.
Yes, I can
And
believe
what I
it.
really want to do is I really want to give people a bit of... I want to make sure they enjoy it enough that they stick around for the next episode, because the next episode is a big one.
Wowie, yes.
Now, we don't normally talk about the next episode, but in this instance, I think we're going to just briefly mention that the next episode is musicals. Now, there should be something out for it already, potentially, but not the actual episode.
All right.
But anyway, the next episode is musicals. Now, don't let that put you off, because I have heard that there may be something at the end of it.
Well, from what I gather, considering how much time I'll spend in it, is that we're gonna have a little chat at the beginning about musicals in general, but then, like we've done with books where we wrote our own short stories, we've decided to write our own musical.
Yep.
With original songs. Myself and him over there.
Who?
You there.
Oh, me.
There's only me and you in this room.
Yes.
So I don't know quite what else to say about it.
Do you want to say the name of the musical?
It's called Postman, the musical.
Wow. Oh, I might have foreshadowed it just a little bit with one of my games.
You may well have, but
anyway,
don't say we don't push the boundaries in these things. So, you know,
it's our 15th episode, so we thought we'd make it special.
Yeah.
I think that's all we really need to say about that anyway.
Okay, there might be a trailer, or there might be a little bit of information drip through, but there might not be.
There might not be.
Depends how much time we've got.
So that is it for this week. Have you got anything else to add then, Dad?
No, not at all. Looking forward to next week already.
Yeah. Just to apologise, really.
Yeah, probably to apologise again. For everything. I'd like to apologise. I'll listen back to this one and see if there's anything I can use as my catchphrase now.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing.
Yeah. Well,
thanks a lot.
Then all I've got to say then is remember to follow us on all the social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Deezer.
That's a podcast platform, but you can also do that if you want. Remember to subscribe.
Acast.
Yep. Just gonna keep naming some things. Remember to
all free.
Yep. What? Oh, you're saying they are
free.
They are all
They're
free.
all free.
Yeah, they are all free. Yeah, Spotify. That's one of the big ones.
Yeah, Spotify. Yeah.
Apple Podcasts. Anyway,
Podcasts.
all of them, whatever one you use, if you search for us, you're most likely to find us. Remember to follow us, subscribe to us on there. Keep
That'd
up
be
to date
good,
with the
yeah,
podcast.
if they could do
If you
that.
could subscribe
Doesn't
to it.
cost anything.
If you could share it with someone, if you tell your mum to listen.
Tell your mum what you're doing, yeah.
I'll tell my mum, but she won't listen.
No, she definitely won't listen.
Anyway, yeah, so just remember to do all of those things, like the pages, whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Then.
Yeah.
All right.
Massages our egos, doesn't it, if people like it, and keeps us going for another week.
Yeah, keeps us going, and then we can hit those milestones and pat ourselves on the backs. Anyway, thank you so much for listening this week. I've had so much fun. Have you had fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.